If you'd have told me back in the offseason that the Sabres' best defenseman and forward through 11 games would be Mattias Samuelsson and Josh Doan, I would have called you crazy. I would be panicking. I would be running for the hills because I would be thinking, this team must suck. Everyone must be hurt. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. And the millions of you at home, just like Ian Whitaker, might be asking yourself, why is that the case? Well, you are in luck because this is Gates's Win More, Lots More. Presented by Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel. And before we get to the godsends that are Mattias Samuelsson and Josh Doan, we need to first talk about this game because your Buffalo Sabres, in their third straight game, get their third straight loser point, getting a overtime loss, this time against the Boston Bruins. Another team in the East, another game where the Sabres get 1 point. A team kind of in the same boat as them is getting 2. But why the Sabres only get 1 tonight? We have a bunch of reasons why. We're going to start off with kind of circling back to Doan and Samuelsson. Why are they the best players? Why is it not Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin? Well, if we look at the overtime goal tonight, we kind of get a little bit of an insight. So we're going to flash forward into overtime for the Sabres. They start off on a kill. They kill this off. They survive. They, puck on the goal line. Samuelsson takes it off. They're in it. They're alive. They finally have possession. They don't have a shot on goal yet. Rasmus Dahlin enters the offensive zone by himself on a 1-on-3. For whatever reason, I don't get why he entered the zone there. You got time. Circle back. Get your teammates in the rush. Show up with speed because in the best case scenario here, the Sabres just have to get back out of the zone and come back in together. Or they, dump it off and, you have a 50-50 battle. You want possession. You want to have certainty. I don't know why he joined there unless he thought he had friends coming, but that wasn't the case. So he enters the zone and then he blows a tire. He loses an edge, and I'm not mad about that. That happens. But he put himself in such a bad spot. You can't afford to do that, especially as the captain. And then when that happens, Tage Thompson, for whatever reason, decides to join. He over-pursues. And all of a sudden, the Sabres go from having possession finally, getting some, solid game going in overtime, because their overtime hasn't been good so far, as we've seen the past couple games. And then they throw it away, because they have a 3-on-1 coming back, and that puck ends up in the back of the net. And you look at the Sabres' top guys. It's obviously Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin, but why hasn't it been working? I'm not sure. And I'm not super, super worried. And I'll tell you why it's not working a bit. Because you look at overtime, they're trying to do way too much. The Sabres have support now. You look at other years, they would have to do everything by themselves to will this team to victory. Right now, they don't have to do it. You look at defensively, the Sabres have a defensive unit that they haven't had in a very, very, very long time. Where they have 6 guys, for the most part, that can go. You have Samuelsson stepping up. Connor Timmins has been phenomenal. Byram stepping up. Owen Power's there. He has some good games. He has some bad games. He has good moments, bad moments. But overall, Dahlin doesn't have to be the guy 24/7. He's playing less minutes. He had 25 tonight. He doesn't have to do everything. He doesn't have to put his Josh Allen cape on 24/7. Same thing with Tage Thompson. They're getting that depth scoring. Josh Doan is, scoring every game, it feels like. Tuck's there. Zucker scoring from time to time. They're getting goals from Tyson Kozak. I want to see him simplify because the Sabres are scoring in simple ways. Dahlin got his first goal tonight, which is awesome. It came just off a point shot on the power play, mainly because you have Josh Doan in front of the net with a great screen. But it's simple. I want to see them just take that step back in how they're playing and see if that gives them any sort of luck because they're phenomenal players. And the fact that the Sabres have had this much success, they're 11 games in or at 500, without these guys playing to their level, to the normal, area that they can hit where they're scoring, they're dominating all the time, is a testament to, the team that's being built right now. You have depth that's showing up, that's carrying this team. When Dahlin and Tage can get to that level we know they can, the sky is the limit for the squad. The reason tonight didn't go the Sabres' way was, we finally got a game from Alex Lyon that wasn't phenomenal. He stopped 18 of 22 on the night. He had a couple he's going to want back. That second one where, comes out from a cloud shot, gets blocked basically at the blue line. It comes back with a 2-on-1 rush, and he gets beat 5-hole with a shot on a rush. That just can't happen. The Sabres were dominant throughout the game. They were out shooting the Bruins every period. First period, 13-5. Second period, 16-9. And the third frame was 11-5. The Sabres were dominating on shots, but they were playing from behind basically the entire game. You look at the third goal as well. A shot comes, a rebound pops out. That rebound off the side squeaks through his arm. It gets poked in. They're just little things like that the Sabres couldn't really afford. And they were down 3-1. I was like, oh, this this game's over. Like, this game kind of sucked to watch for most of it because the Sabres just couldn't get that going. They were getting shots, but not really getting good follow-up. They couldn't get one by Korpisalo. And then Josh Doan he just does the little things right, and he gets rewarded. So you saw on the Dahlin goal, net front guy, back of the net. His goal, he gets to the net front. A rebound's there, a deflection, he gets it, puts in the back of the net. We've seen him do that throughout the year where he's just there, he's going to clean up anything in front. And everyone should be doing that. It's not like Josh Doan is some phenomenal, talent. Like, he's great, he plays the game well, he moves with speed, he has a ton of energy. But just do that. Just hang out in front. And then you look at the third goal from Alex Tuch, which was awesome. Good to see him scoring. It only happens because Josh Doan not only works the net, but he works his ass off to get inside on Henri Jokiharju, who then gets pushed into the net, pushed into Korpisalo, and Alex Tuch has a wide open net. That goal only happens because not only is, Josh Doan just, going to the spots he has to, playing in the system, but he is working like a motherfucker every single shift. Doesn't matter if it's in the D zone, the offensive zone, he's back checking all the time. Truly, like, I talk about it every game, but it's Josh Doan is a phenomenal hockey player, and he is willing this team to victories like tonight. I mean, not like tonight where they get a victory, but they got a point because the way he plays. He did the same thing basically on every single goal, and that's how the Sabres got a point tonight. He is awesome. Excited to see how he continues to grow and develop with the Sabres. And Mattias Samuelsson, the other guy I talked about, phenomenal defensively. We're going to look mainly at the last 2 minutes of the game. Jordan Greenway, first game of the season. He was a -1. He took a penalty with 1:17 to go. The Sabres are hemmed in for basically the entirety of that. Mattias Samuelsson, I only get credit with 3 block shots tonight. I thought he had a lot more. Huge block shots, gets the puck out. Truly, truly phenomenal. Him and Connor Timmins have been great. It goes to show how much trust they have in them as well, where they're the guys out to kill the penalty with 1 minute to go in a tie game. That speaks a lot. He has grown immensely as a player. He had the second most time on ice tonight for any Sabres defenseman with 23 minutes. He has been great. You look in overtime as well. He's able to kill off that beginning too. And just the Sabres as a whole, some good things before we wrap things up. They had 19 block shots as a team. They, that's the making of a good team too. When you know your goalie's fighting it, they're selling out to block shots. Alex Lyon had some good saves toward the end. Scary one in overtime that leaked through him as Samuelsson pulled off the goal line, but the Sabres were blocking shots because they knew they had to, which is a huge sign. Their PK went 1 for 5 tonight. The only goal they let up, it's one they're probably going to get a save on most nights. But yeah, the team is there. The power play scored. It's just putting it all together. And when Dahlin becomes Rasmus Dahlin, when Tage Thompson becomes Tage Thompson, it's going to happen. This isn't just going to be like some thing that they just disappear off the face of the earth. These guys are going to figure their game out. You're seeing the depth be there. The Sabres team, to quote the great Sean McDermott, there are players on this roster. And we haven't been able to say that for a very long time about this team. I feel good about the Sabres right now. It's just getting those guys to that next level. But they have points in their 7 of their last 8 games. I'm not going to be mad at that. For how they started 0-3, I'm going to take it any day I can. But folks, let me know your thoughts on this game, on the season. We're 11 games into the madness that is the Buffalo Sabres season. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Tell me if you agree with me, if you think I'm an idiot. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you again on Saturday. And until then, let's go Sabres.